So I've neglected the Heavy Boxing League server and heavy boxing as a whole for a while now, and I want to share the binds and what my method is to actually get matches going. So I'm in a server just by myself right now, and I'm just going to show off what all the binds do. They'll be in the description, and for those of you who don't know what's going on, you're watching this from the channel. I started playing TF2 a while back in 2018. And I started this year, or I like to say late last year, just a group of people where we just melee fight as heavy in the 2 fort sewers on this map. It was very funny, and a lot of people liked it, so I made a server for it, and it's somehow my most popular server. However, it's recently been abandoned of late, so I feel I owe it to people to just show them how the binds work and how everything works. Sorry about that, I was checking if my binds were working. Anyways, generally the way a match starts is that when everyone runs out of spawn, what you do is you put out one advertisement, not to me, to go and walk down to either red or blue sewers. It's easier just to go with the sewer that the side you're on. So I'm on red, I will go red. If I'm on blue, I will go blue. The only reason you would switch sides is if friendly killers were about and you need to switch because it was getting crowded and spectators were jumping in the middle of the ring. Alright, so we're going to go over for some rules. In terms of loadout, let's go through that quickly. What are the legal items for heavy? So the best loadout is the Natasha. So there's a bit of a slow wind-up, but it's good for trapping friendly killers. If you like the Tomislav, you can use that. It doesn't really matter what minigun you're using. I'd recommend just using either the sandwich or the banana. The Delocos bar and the steak sandwich are actually banned because they give you an unfair advantage. Those being extra health and crits. So this gives you crits, and this gives you a bit of extra health, adds 50 plus health max. Those two are banned. And the reason you use the sandwich is because it heals 300 health after a match. And lastly, we have the melee. Now, you can use stock. I know a lot of people like to use the frying pan because, you know, haha, funny. But yeah, you can use basically anything you want. Even the holiday punch, I've heard people say that this is bad. It's sort of okay, because we need to let everyone, you know, be able to melee without having them to, you know, switch loadouts. The best for group matches is the Killing Gloves of Boxing, which is essentially the default. The best for 1v1s is the Holiday Punch. If 2 people have the Holiday Punch, on hit, force aiming Stalaf who are also wearing this item, you've basically just got a really slow match. So if 2 people are wearing the Holiday Punch, you just have to wait for their match to be over. But other than that, I recommend stock or the Killing Gloves of Boxing. So anyway, so that was the loadout. How does a usual match of heavy boxing play out? Well, there are a bunch of binds that you use to tell people stuff, to communicate with your team, and one of the things you have to do, and I can't stress how important this is to be on the mic and telling your team to set up. How it usually goes is you toss your sandwich out, replace it with the health pack, go like this, and then you use your binds. Now, you do have to actually have them installed, and you have to open them up in console, because they aren't there by default. So for this, you just go, you need to have your console enabled, and I'll have the binds in the description, so you just go exec to open it up, HBL, and then there'll be a bunch of things. You want HBL main, which is your main set of binds. The other ones are just for announcing. So now, let's test that works. There we go. So, I pressed 1 on my keypad. You need to have a keypad in order for this to work, because everything is bound to the keypad and a few other keys. Let's go through all of the binds one by one. So, keypad 1 is come box with us at red sewers. Keypad 2 is come box, 3 sorry, is box with us at blue sewers. And keypad 2, or keypad down arrow, is come box with us at bridge. 1, 2, 3. So those show locations. So the bottom row is for locations. Now 4, 5, and 6 on your keypad are going to be used for timings. So they let you announce when a match is starting. So 4 is HBL setup, waiting on even teams. In the meantime, don't taunt kill and stay in your corner. And this is telling everyone to just crouch in the corner and look at the opposing team. And they're allowed to go over and just take the health pack whilst they're waiting and just chuck it out like that, even if they, need health and that. So 5, HBL countdown. Match starts in 10 seconds, and this really tends to get people riled up and ready to fight, because what this does is it basically puts a time limit on it, and everyone just goes to the corners and that. If you see a few rowdy people and you're somewhat ready to start, just put this down. Bound to both E and 6 is this. 5, 4, 2, 1, and you need to pace yourself with it, or otherwise it won't work. There's even a voice command to go along with it, and it's also bound to E. And I made it like this because in build, TF2 makes it really slow. You notice that I was going a bit too fast, and my other ones didn't go up, so that could confuse players who are trying to play. Instead, be very, very slow with this. For example, 3, 2, 1. Now, if you see any errors with the binds, be sure to tell me. I'll update to a newer version, but for the most part, all this should be up to date. So 4, 5, and 6 are for timings. Next we'll have 7, 8, and 9 on your keypad. For 7, this is just a warning. Would all non-heavies or spectators please move out of the ring? We are having a match soon. You are allowed to kill non-heavies in the ring. So if you see like a pyro or a disguised spy, a spy that's disguised as heavy, you shoot them. Even if they're on your team, you still shoot them to signify to the enemy team that they are not willing to cooperate. Next we have 8, which just shows the legal items. If someone is using the DeLocos bar or the steak sandwich, this is why. You'll show them this. So if someone eats it, you just call off the match and you just tell them to restart. 9 is about health. So no overheal, no dispensers or packs during the rounds. You're only allowed to have them after the rounds, or otherwise they interfere. If an engineer on your team has a teleporter or a dispenser in here, you ask them politely to move it out to here. And engineers are actually pretty good. Just a little side note, engineers are pretty good because they can give you heals before and after rounds. I prefer not to have medics because you're basically allowed to kill medics because they will overheal everyone and it will make the match really unfair. Alright, so those were the rules binds. So we've covered location, which is 1, 2, 3. We've covered timings, which is 4, 5, and 6, and we've covered rules, which is 7, 8, and 9. If you're spamming them too fast due to new bot regulations, then you may get your messages muted. So just be very, very slow with them. Speaking of which, we have the next row, which is keypad slash, asterisk, and the minus button. So slash is red wins, blue is through, good game. Asterisk is blue wins, red is dead, GG. And if someone griefs the match, or someone uses an illegal set of items, or something else, you press KP minus, which tells them that the match was griefed. Lastly, we have the miscellaneous binds. Bound to keypad 0 is our Discord server. Those last 7 letters are all you need to actually join the Discord server from the menu, but you have to slap a HTTPS, a colon, and 2 slashes on there in order for it to work. I recommend you keep this bind as is, because this actually will probably revive the Discord server, to be honest. I know I've been, neglecting it, and been doing stuff with my own games and that, but I think that, if people actually asked to join a Steam group or a Discord server, you just press keypad 0 or keypad insert, and it will insert that into chat. Do not spam this. This will infuriate people and